Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivracharya Astrotra Sata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Channaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem se Kau Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasudhi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shamkund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki, Vrindavan Dham Ki, Mathura Dham Ki, Navadip Dham Ki, Shri Jagannath Swami Ki, Yamuna Mai Ki, Shrimati Tulsi Devi Ki, Samved Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai, Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastai Bhutle, Srimati Bir Krishna Goswami Niti Namne, Namo Hamsa Nikashaya Prabhupada Priyayate Shrutata Shri Nista Ventasya Bhakya Nivadine. So, good morning and Hare Krishna to everyone. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class brought to you from Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple, North Sydney. Welcome to all our online viewers on Mayapur TV and ISKCON Sydney YouTube. This morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 29, titled Explanation of Devotional Service. And we are reading from text 14. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. Saiva Bhakti Yogyakya Saeva Bhakti Yogakhya Atyantika Udhartaha Yenati Vrajya Trigunam Madbhavayo Papadyate Sa eva bhakti yogakhya Atyantika udhartaha Yenati vrajya trigunam Madbhavayo papadyate Sa eva bhakti yogakhya Atyantika udhartaha Yenati vrajya trigunam Madbhavayo papadyate. Sa eva bhakti yogakhya Atyantika udhartaha Yenatri prajya trigunam madbhavayopapadyate. Sa eva bhakti yogakhya atyantika udartaha yenatri prajya trigunam madbhavayopapadyate. Sa eva bhakti yogakhya atyantika udartaha yenati vrajya trigunam madbhavayopapadyate. Sa eva bhakti yogakhya atyantika udartaha yenatri vrajya trigunam madbhavayopapadyate. Thank you. So the words and the meaning: Sa, this; Eva, indeed; Bhakti Yoga, devotional service; Akhya, called; Atyantika, the highest platform; Udhartaha, explained; Yena, by which; Ativrajya, overcoming; Trigunam, the three modes of material nature; Madbhavyaya, to my transcendental stage; Upapadyate, one attains. So we've got the translation and the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So the shlok that we read just now, the translation of that shlok is by attaining the highest platform of devotional service, as I have explained, one can overcome the influence of the three modes of material nature and be situated in the transcendental stage as is the Lord. So we can all repeat. By attaining the highest platform of devotional service, as I have explained, one can overcome the influence of the three modes of material nature and be situated in the transcendental stage as is the Lord. Okay, so the purport: Shripad Sankacharya, who is supposed to be the leader of impersonalist school of philosophers, has admitted in the beginning of his comments on Bhagavad Gita that Narayan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is beyond the material creation. Except for him, everything is within material creation. It is also confirmed in the Vedic literature that before the creation, there was only Narayan. Neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva existed. Only Narayan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, is always in the transcendental position beyond the influence of material nature or material creation. The material qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance cannot affect the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is called Nirguna. Nirguna means free from all tinges of material qualities. Here, the same fact is confirmed by Lord Kapil. One who is situated in pure devotional service is transcendentally situated, as is the Lord. Just as the Lord is unaffected by the influence of material modes, so too are his pure devotees. one who is not affected by three modes of material nature is called, what are they called? They're called a liberated soul. Liberated soul or Brahma Bhuta soul. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma is the stage of liberation. Aham Brahmasmi. I am not this body. This is applicable only to the person who constantly engages in the devotional service of Krishna and is thus in the transcendental stage. He is above the influence of the three modes of material nature. It is the misconception of the impersonalists that one can worship any imaginary form of the Lord or Brahman and at the end merge in the Brahman effulgence. Of course, to merge into the bodily effulgence Brahman of the Supreme Lord is also liberation. As explained in the previous verse, Ekatva is also liberation, but that sort of liberation is never accepted by any devotee. For qualitative oneness is immediately attained as soon as one is situated in devotional service. For a devotee, that qualitative equality, which is the result of impersonal liberation, is already attained. He does not have to try for it separately. It is clearly stated here that simply by devotional service one becomes qualitatively as good as the Lord Himself. So there you go. Mangal Charan. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vande Ham Shri Gurum Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Trubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so this is a very interesting shlok this morning, because this is what the Hare Krishnas do. We are into devotional service 24 hours, big time. Does that mean we leave our jobs and our families and we devote our 24 hours, 7 days a week in the temple? The answer is obviously no. Because we have to pay the rent, we have to pay the mortgage. We have to look after the children. We have to get an education. Some of us are in pursuance of a permanent residence. And so they do things for that. We want to buy a car, we want to do this. So then where is the devotional service? That's a big question. Because here in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's telling us, be in devotional service, otherwise you get affected by the three modes of material nature. Three modes of material nature: passion, ignorance and goodness. So the goodness is also not a good thing, even though you are in a good, passion of goodness. It means you have to transcend beyond that and come to a transcendental nature, which is simply be a devotee of Krishna. So how can we attain all that while we are living our lives, so-called existence, survival, and still be into devotional service? It's very tricky. It's very hard, or it seems to be hard. So I have got something very interesting to impart to you. First of all, what Prabhupada says. He wrote a letter to someone to explain to him how they can do those things, activities of living their life, and still be into devotional service. And number two, Srila Prabhupada, how he said about certain imperfections, because we are not 100% perfect. We are not in an elevated stage. So then how are we going to be in devotional service and attain transcendental nature if we are not 100% perfect? How? Because this life is not a good one. Nobody's life is good. Nobody here is in perfect transcendental stage. So we've got to transcend this and become in a perfect stage, so-called perfect stage, so that we can serve Krishna and go beyond this material nature, never be born again, because this life is miserable, very miserable. We are all struggling for things, we are all being hurt by things, we are hurting other people, or we are trying to compete with other people, or we are trying to achieve something that is not achievable or very hard to achieve. We are being, in corona stage, we are, inflicted with sickness, disease, all kinds of things. So the bottom line is, if you are born, then what? If you are born right now, your death is also confirmed 100%. Anyone who takes birth has to die one day. Not now, maybe not tomorrow, certain time limit, you have a certain time period. So how do we get out of this birth and death? It's written right here, it's written everywhere, in the Bhagavad Gita to everywhere. Devotional service. So what is devotional service? Well, there's 9 processes of devotional service. First one is hearing, chanting, right? So I'm going to read to you, because I always want to get the right order, in the right order. So one is hearing, which is Shravanam, which is what we are doing right now. We are hearing about the Lord. The Lord is giving some instructions, so we are listening to his instructions. Hearing, Maharaj Parikshit was the Acharya. Chanting, Kirtanam. We love to chant, the Hare Krishnas love to sing and go on the Harinam Sankirtan, and we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Sukadev Goswami is perfect in that. We are reading from the books that has been spoken by Sukadev Goswami. So we are chanting, we are hearing, we are remembering Lord Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj is the Acharya for that. Serving at the lotus feet of Krishna. Lakshmi Devi is the Acharya for that. She serves at the lotus feet of Krishna. The fifth one is deity worship, Archanam, which our devotees, pujaris do, which you do at home if you've got Krishna at home, and you light the incense and you worship Archanam. So Maharaj Prithu used to do this. And praying Vandanam, you can just attain devotional service by prayers. There is power in prayer. So you should learn how to pray if you don't know how to pray. Our books are full of prayers. Different devotees have given different types of prayers, starting from Lord Brahma in the Brahma Samhita. Those are prayers of Lord Govinda, Lord Krishna. Govinda Madi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Those are prayers. There's prayers of Narad Muni. There's prayers of Bhishma Pitama. There's prayers of Lord Shiva. There are prayers of gopis. There are prayers of Kaliya Nag's wives, serpents. There are prayers of Sanat Kumars. There are many, many, many prayers. If you open any one of our books and read those prayers, they are so beautiful. So they are prayers. And Akrur offered these prayers. He is the Acharya for these prayers. Number 7 is executing orders, Dashyam. You just execute orders of the Lord. The Lord says, do this, do this, do this. Just like Hanuman. He served. And then number 8 is serving as a friend, Sakhyam, Arjun. Arjun was Lord Krishna's friend. You can become his friend too. You can aspire to be his friend. Number 9 is complete surrender, Atmanivedanam, which was Bali Maharaj. He gave everyone, including his head. Krishna stepped on his head and he went down to Patal Lok. But Bali Maharaj, he's got his own planets. Even if it is a planet of demons, he's still the king there. And apparently the planets in the hell is also a very beautiful place. They have all kinds of luxuries. So that's part of devotional service. You don't have to do all 9. You can just simply chant or hear. You can still attain devotional service. You can still do it. So like I mentioned, what did Srila Prabhupada say? Because we are in a very strange state. We need some guidance, and we are not perfect. So what does Srila Prabhupada, what does he say for us? Because there are some people who think, okay, and it's not a bad thing to think, by the way, it's good. They'll say, we are pious, we do good things. If we do good things, then God will be pleased, then we will be liberated, maybe we'll go to heaven. So, what about that? So, Chaitanya Charimrita is a text, Vedic books, and in Madhya Lila 9.263, it says something about pious acts, good things, which is related to devotional service. And I'm going to read that translation. Pious and impious activities can bring about material happiness and distress. So if you do pious things, it will give you happiness. If you do impious things, what is that? What is impious? Not suitable, not good. Yes, bad things. Impious is bad things, cruel things. That is not an activity that is bad. Impious. It can hurt other people. So it can bring about happiness and distress, but there is no possibility of becoming a pure devotee. By acting either piously or impiously, you need something else. So when it says pious means you do charities, you help a poor lady to cross the street, good things to help people. It will still not make you a pure devotee. Obviously, impious things will not make you a pure devotee. So what is it that you need? Chaitanya Charimrita also says, Bhakti, devotional service, means to satisfy Krishna. You need that. In every scripture, it's written Jnana Kanda, Karma Kanda, the principle of renunciation is always praised. But you can only become a good devotee by devotional service, the love of Godhead. So you can do good things, but you've got to be a worshipper of Lord Krishna. You've got to worship Lord Krishna. That's what you need. So this is what it tells you, that you need bhakti, you need devotional service, which is what we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam today. Lord Kapil is saying, you need devotional service. It is 100%. And personally, I would say, if I'm going through something wrong or something bad or something that is distressing me in my life personally, the only thing that keeps me going or keeps me happy is devotional service. Devotional service is simply chanting, right? We read the 9 devotional. Chanting, singing, reading, hearing, and you forget about your distresses, you forget about your problems, you forget about any challenges in life, and you are a happy person. And many people have commented, why are the Hare Krishna so happy? Mataji, why are you so happy? Well, I chant. I chant and I sing. And for that time, I am not unhappy. And sometimes devotees, the Hare Krishna devotees, are so happy that they start dancing. And people come in the temple and they're so weird, they're dancing. I had a little niece, I brought her to the temple and she saw some devotees were chanting and dancing. She'd never seen that before. And then she saw some of those tall brahmacharis, they were jumping. When the Hare Krishna Mahamantra was going, they're in ecstasy, they're jumping. She got really scared. She thought, what are these strange people jumping in the air for? Never seen it before. How do you explain to a child that they are in ecstasy? They are actually happy, that's why they're jumping. Simply by the name. So the distressing conditions. But these are things that will help you become a pure devotee one day. But it is a devotional service. It's part of devotional service to dance for Krishna, to sing for Krishna. So I also promised to you the letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote to a struggling poor soul. on how to dovetail his daily activities, and become a pure devotee or become, get into devotional service. So this letter he wrote to somebody called Gopal Krishna. And Gopal Krishna was living in Los Angeles. And the letter he wrote was in July 31st, so around this month, in 1969. So he said, "My dear Gopal Krishna, please accept my blessings." He thanked him for his letter. Now Gopal Krishna had actually asked him, "I'm moving from Los Angeles and I'm going to go to India. And where in India should I live?" So that's a very good question to ask your Guru Maharaj. I asked my Guru Maharaj the same question. I'm going to Sydney from Fiji, or was it New Zealand? I can't remember which country. But I was coming to Sydney because I used to in those days, Fiji to or Sydney, or Auckland to Sydney. So I asked him, where in Sydney should I live? So my Guru Maharaj said, Parramatta or near the temple or something. I ended up near the temple. So here this Gopal Krishna is asking his Guru, Srila Prabhupada, I'm going to India, where should I live? Should I live in Delhi or Bombay? Or where? So Prabhupada says, this is Prabhupada's answer. Regarding your future settlement in India, you can work in any big cities like Bombay or Delhi. Because, why? Because without living in a big city, you cannot have a good job. That's Prabhupada's advice. So he's not saying anything about devotional service here. He's saying go and get a good job in a big city. But there's some conditions attached to that. We'll read that in a bit. He said you can also try Calcutta. Calcutta is also a very big industrial city. If you are posted there, it will be easy for you to look after Mayapur Contemplated Temple. At that time, the Mayapur temple was not fully built. It's still being built now, even to this day. He said from Calcutta, you can look after. So what is he saying? You can move somewhere, but still you are doing some service. Right? And then he says, but it does not matter where you are situated. Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, where? He says, suitable, wherever is suitable for you, you accept it. And this question, Gopal Krishna also asked Prabhupada about your dress. Sometimes we go to work, I go to work. If it's a corporate dress, I will wear something corporate. Luckily in my job these days I can wear jeans, which is good because everybody wears jeans. But the dress, it's not devotee-like. That's a fact. So he was asking, when I go to work, should I go in a full devotee dress? Dhoti, kurta, sari, tilak. So Prabhupada's answer is, regarding your dress, you should dress yourself smartly as possible. Krishna consciousness does not depend on the dress. So you can quote from this letter. Srila Prabhupada said, because there are many devotees out there, they're very, very adamant, you should be in a devotee dress. No. Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness does not depend on the dress. It is the consciousness that is important. If by dressing yourself very nicely you get honor from your customers, then it is a great asset for business management. So you do what you have to do for your business. Now where is this devotional service? From where? So, and then he also mentions about his education. As far as your diploma is business management from McGill University is concerned, you must have it by all means. So get educated, get a good job, go and live in a nice place, dress nicely for your business. And then he quotes, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is enjoined by Srila Goswami that any work, either prescribed in the Vedas or ordinary mundane activities, if the target, now here's the condition, by doing all these things, if the target is to satisfy Krishna, then everything is devotional service. If your target is to satisfy Krishna, then everything is devotional service. It's written in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and reinforced by Srila Rupa Goswami. Even ordinary activities. So he says, whatever we do, our aim should be how to please Krishna. That is devotional service. So he says, it is my request that you keep Krishna always in view. and accept anything necessary for your worldly affairs. And he said, you will always please me when you consult me before doing anything. Consult Srila Prabhupada, consult your Guru. I always do. So, and then, this is another thing. He was going to open up a business, Gopal Krishna. And he said, regarding distribution of Back to Godhead of my publications. So in other words, Prabhupada was his publications were those magazines, Back to Godhead magazines. This is Prabhupada's work. This is also Prabhupada's work that we are reading, the distribution. So Gopal Krishna was doing that. He said, Prabhupada said, I welcome your floating company for this purpose. In that case, your company will be another department of the society. So his business, even though if it's selling fruits and vegetables or whatever it is he was doing, is a part of the ISKCON society. Why? Because it was distributing the magazines. So that's what you do. If you have your job, you still do devotional service. You have a business, you still do devotional service, some service. So, and Prabhupada says this as well. He says, although the society has no intention to interfere with your business, even though it's part of the ISKCON, sort of, like a branch, because he's a devotee, but they will not interfere in the business. Prabhupada says that. But then he also says, but your business will be considered as my business. So your job is also should be considered as Prabhupada's job. Your business is also, if you are trying to satisfy Krishna. So that's what Srila Prabhupada said for all of us, because the question was, we are doing, our jobs, looking after our kids, how do we? So that was one. And then, now next one is, what was his opinion? Because I did mention I did mention to you about imperfections, right? We are not perfect. So Prabhupada was preaching to Western devotees in Western countries, and they came with no background for devotional life. So they had some imperfections. So what did he say about those devotees? And that applies to us. We are imperfect as well. We are not 100%. Nobody is. Nobody ever will be. Because the only perfect person is Krishna. Other than that, no one is. So then, what did he have to say about that? Because we all fall, we all get up. We all fall, we all get up. We are never 100%. Nobody is. Nobody will be. This is Kali Yuga. We are not born Brahmins. So what does he say about that? Because he was preaching to the Western devotees, Americans, the English, Europeans. So what did he have to say? He said, this is one of the Brahma Samhita lectures he was giving. I'm just trying to find out when. Yes, in Bombay, he gave this lecture, January 3rd, 1973. So he said, even if we find, this is about imperfections, even if we find some discrepancies in the life of a devotee, just like these European Americans, they are still devotees. They are devotees. And he also mentioned they are pure devotees of Krishna. How? How can they be pure devotees of Krishna, these Americans and Europeans? This is how. They have no other desire. They simply want to satisfy their spiritual master in Krishna. They only want to satisfy a spiritual master in Krishna. Therefore, they are pure devotees. They have no other business. Just like the gopis, they just want to please Krishna, nothing else. So they are pure devotees. So if someone wants to only satisfy their spiritual master and do whatever it takes to spread their movement, mission, whatever it is, they are pure devotees. Therefore, they are pure devotees. They have no other business. They have sacrificed everything. They are coming from rich family, rich nation, educated, everything. There is no scarcity in their countries because they come from America or somewhere like that. No scarcity in the country. Everything is complete. But still for Krishna, they forsaken everything. That is pure devotion. That's what happened in the 1960s, the 69 to 70s, when Prabhupada was here, when he was preaching. Now those devotees, those Western devotees are our gurus. They were at that time young boys like you. And so at that time, and they came from rich families, like my own Guru Maharaj. He came from a multimillionaire family. They had their own private jet plane and their own boats. They used to go to Bahamas for a holiday in their own boat and own plane. So very rich. He had a sports car as a present from his parents. But he left all that and became a sannyasi and preaching to us. And my spiritual master, and everybody is looking after everyone. Like, it's not just my spiritual master, obviously. It's thousands, I think more than 1,000 disciples. But then that's only one disciple. There are other disciples of Prabhupada who came from that background, extremely educated. Very rich families, very good countries, sacrificed everything. Why? Because we are struggling in this world. There are stupid people like us who are born in Kali Yuga. We need guidance. So they became our leaders and our teachers and our gurus and our acharyas. That's pure devotee, sacrifice everything. So I was going to actually play that little part about how Prabhupada says this, but we don't have much time. So I'm going to quickly go over the last bit of this class, which is... this is on a higher level, because I have a question for you. Who's best in devotional service to Krishna? Who is best? Srimati Radharani, yes. She's the best. So I wanted to read a little bit for you to see how she serves Krishna in that level. Because Radharani's business is to serve Krishna. We are not at this stage. So I'm going to read a little bit. And the underlying condition of this is, please do not try this at home. Please don't become like Radharani, because you are not in that stage. None of us are. So don't do this at home. But I'm going to read to you a little bit. It is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita again. And it's from Madhya Lila 14.189. How does Radharani serve Krishna? And this will be an impetus for us to pray to Srimati Radharani, bless us, so that we can develop some love for Krishna. So, Swarup Damodar said, what are her qualities? Timidity, jubilation, ambition, respect, fear, and the characteristics of left-wing gopis are ecstatic symptoms that combine to agitate Srimati Radharani. She has many qualities. So firstly, it is her qualities that attract Krishna. So sometimes we wonder, why does Krishna like this or that? He only likes things that remind you of Srimati Radharani, the qualities. So we should pray to Radharani. So the internet is a little bit slow, so one shlok to another. When Srimati Radharani saw Lord Krishna before her, what does she do? Her progress stopped. She was walking or something, she stopped. And she assumed an attitude of opposition. Why are you crossing my path? Like that. Although inside, she's really happy to see Krishna. But externally, no. Although her face is slightly covered by a blue garment, so she wears a blue sari. It's covered, her face is covered. Two eyes were agitated, being wide and curved. She was decorated with ornaments of vilasa. Vilasa is a mood for enjoyment. Charming. And her beauty increased to give Krishna pleasure. So these are some qualities that satisfy Krishna. Not for us. This is on a very high level for her. So then, when Srimati Radharani stands before Krishna, okay, this is another question. How many places is Krishna is bent, bending. How many places is he bent? 3 bhanga. The flute, the knees, the neck. That's Krishna. He's bent. Did you know that Radharani is also bent in 3 places? Only when she sees Krishna. So here, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 14.191, When Srimati Radharani stands before Krishna, she stands bent in 3 places: her neck, her waist, and her legs. And her eyebrows start dancing. Oh, I can't do that. Her eyebrows start dancing. And then when there is an awakening, because she starts getting various expressions on her face after that, when the various ecstatic features on Srimati Radharani's face and her eyes that are appropriate to a charming feminine attitude, the Lalita ornament is manifest. So then she goes into another mood, a very playful mood. It's time to play, time to have a fight with Krishna. That attracts Krishna. When the bodily features are delicate and expertly curved, the eyebrows are beautifully agitated, the ornaments of feminine charm called Lalita Alankara is manifest. So this is what she's doing, is to satisfy Krishna, nothing else. When Lord Krishna happens to see Srimati Radharani decorated with these Lalita ornaments, they both eagerly want to meet each other. If you want, you can read the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's there for further, So when Srimati Radharani was decorated with the ornament of Lalita Alankara just to increase Krishna's love, an attractive curve was manifested in her neck, her knees, and her waist. This was brought about by her timidity and apparent desire to avoid Krishna. Don't. The flickering movements of her eyebrows could conquer the powerful bows of Cupid. So, to put a long story short, because we are coming to the end of the class, she did that all. Outwardly, she was angry with Krishna. Don't touch. Don't come near me. When she did all those things, Krishna was so attracted, he would grab the kona of her sari. He would grab her sari. And she would say, don't. She would take her hand and stop him. Outwardly, she was angry. Very. She was furious. But internally, she was happy to see Krishna. But she did all that to attract Krishna. And Lakshmi Devi, there's another Lakshmi Devi's story in Jagannath Puri. Lakshmi Devi is married to Krishna. So is Srimati Radharani, it's an expansion of her. Radharani has many moods. She's also Lakshmi Devi. She's also the gopis. She's many Lakshmis, many gopis. All the queens of Dwarika, they are all expansions of Srimati Radharani in different mood. They say, well, Krishna takes manifestations. This avatar, that avatar, that avatar. That's all Krishna, Vishnu. As Ramchandra, as Narsimha, as Varaha. That's all Krishna, his different mood. But so is Radharani. She's Lakshmi Devi, she's Gopi, she's Vrinda, she's Tulsi Maharani. Radha, everywhere. Why does she do that? That's their Leela. So Lakshmi Devi also in Radharani's mood said to Jagannath, because Jagannath was leaving her to go where? Vrindavan. Why is he gone to Vrindavan? Lakshmi Devi is supposed to be very submissive, but there she's angry. How dare he leave me and go to Vrindavan to look at Srimati Radharani's small garden of flowers and a little bit of minerals in the hill. And just a little, there's nothing there. There's no opulence. I have wealth. That's Lakshmi Devi. She's a goddess of wealth. I have jewels and opulence. Why is he leaving my opulence and going to look at the small garden of Srimati Radharani? Krishna goes there. But there's a proviso. It's in the same Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you read the next slokas after that, the ones that I quoted, those gardens, they are all what? Desire trees. The residents of Vrindavan only want flowers. They don't want to make a wish. But each and every tree can fulfill all the riches and wealth of all the Mahalakshmis. Those gopis themselves are Mahalakshmis. Not one Mahalakshmi, Mahalakshmis in the millions. But they're not worried about the wealth. Those cows that give milk, they give milk, yes, but they also are Kamadhenus. Kamadhenu cows, you ask for any amount of money or any amount of soldiers or whatever, palaces, another planet, they will give you the cows, Kamadhenu. But they're not interested in that, Vrindavan. They're just interested in the milk. Those trees, desire fulfilling trees. They just want the fruits and, for all in the service of Krishna. So that's the difference. But that's the difference. So actually Mahalakshmi in that, Lakshmi Devi in that, regard, the wealth, was slightly, the significance was described of her and Vrindavan. But she's also Radharani, so not to mess around with that. It's just one of her moods. So that's devotional service. We're talking about devotional service. You can reach that platform. Right now we are with that, something like Gopal Krishna, asking Srila Prabhupada, my business, my education, my dress, my, living, where am I going to live? We are in that stage. And then we could reach the stage of those Americans, Europeans after that sacrifice everything for preaching movement, become gurus, acharyas one day. That's next step. Well, you'll always serve Srila Prabhupada. Last step, devotional service, like the gopis, Mahalakshmis. Srimati Radharani is the highest stage of perfection. We are in that stage from one to another, to another, to another. And bhakti and devotional service is unlimited. You can just progress. And right now we are very insignificant. We have not gotten there. We are just like the letter that Gopal Krishna had written to Srila Prabhupada. We are in that stage. Where to live, how to be devotee. We are struggling with day-to-day life, mundane. We have not reached either Puri, Lakshmi Devi's, residence. We have not reached Vrindavan, where we are with the Kamdhenus and, Chintamani trees, and those minerals in the hills are all precious jewels. And Krishna says each of those precious jewels, they are adorning the gopis' feet. All those rubies and pearls that come from the Vrindavan hills. Those minerals, they adorn their feet of gopis. We have not gotten there yet. So I don't have time for questions, unfortunately. But thank you very much for listening to the class. Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. You have questions? What is the highest stage of bhakti yoga after ascending to a devotee, freed from the influence of motives? It's Nishta Ruchiya Shakti. Yes, you become a pure devotee. You become like Radharani or the